exonuclease activity of the polymerase. So we discussed in the last class that the polymerase has 5' to 3' polymerase activity, 5' to 3' exonuclease activity, and 3' to 5' exonuclease activity. So it's the 3' to 5' exonuclease activity, students, which is responsible for proofreading, which takes care of any misincorporation or any errors in the sequence. The other point that was shown in the video was about the processivity. So I guess that was clear to everyone, right? And then in the video, in the first video, what was shown was hot start PCR. You remember that or no? We just saw it. Everyone is quiet. So this, are you people there or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so hot start PCR, did you follow?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. It
Okay.
operates on high temperature.
Okay. So that is what is when we remember when we discussed the PCR program, we did actually hot start. So in hot start, we actually raised the temperature to 95 degrees for 30 seconds, and then we started the PCR cycle. So this actually avoids non-specific bands as well, because it takes care of mispriming. Okay, so then I think we also discussed random mutagenesis, and we discussed two different approaches. One which was using Taq polymerase, and the concentrations of magnesium chloride and manganese. You remember that? And then the second one was using mutazyme. So then hope random mutagenesis was clear to the class.
Yes, ma'am.
So then let us talk about site-directed mutagenesis. So in site-directed mutagenesis, as the term itself says, this involves mutagenesis at a particular site, right? So you're going to select a particular region, a particular sequence, and this site-directed mutagenesis can be it can be a change in one nucleotide. So in that case, it is called as a point mutation. Can be a change, like you can use using site directed mutagenesis, you can perform insertions, you can perform deletions, right? And you can actually modify, and you can perform modifications, in the sense that these modifications can be substitutions. So for example, adenine is replaced by guanine or something like this. T is replaced by G, G is replaced by C, something like this. And insertions means you can insert a new nucleotide. It can actually result in a change in frame. And these insertions can be just one nucleotide, or it can be as large as even 6 nucleotides or 10 nucleotides, etc. So then let us see how exactly it is done. So for that, what I will do is, since the class has learned designing PCR primers, so I will paste a sequence, and then I would suggest you to actually design the primer, and we will go from there. So let's say class, this is the sequence, right? And you need to design forward and reverse primer for this. Just going to try this. This is required for performing site-directed mutagenesis, and let us say we would like to uh, replace this G, make it big, with maybe T. Okay, so From the sequence, what is obvious is this is a non-coding DNA or a coding DNA. Can you make out, class? So students, you need to speak up.
Ma'am, perhaps it is non-coding DNA because there are a lot of repeats here.
Okay. What about others? Jaskin, are you there or left?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so
Why would we do a mutation in a non-coding DNA?
let me see who's. This is Jaskin.
Ma'am, Dev.
Ha, Devpriya. Yes, tell me.
Ma'am, but we won't do mutations in non-coding DNA now. So I guess this is coding DNA.
No, that has nothing to do with coding and non-coding DNA. Okay, so that brings to another question. Why so mutation in a non-coding DNA? Okay, I'll come to that. But this is not the answer. Mutation can be done in a coding as well as non-coding DNA. I will give you the justification in a second. But I have taught you something about the sequence you people forgot. Class, you need to learn to analyze the sequence. In the next few classes, when I will be teaching you transcription and translation, you will have to learn all of these.
Ma'am, this also seems fairly random. I mean, I can't see repeats here.
No, so my question is whether it's a coding DNA or a non-coding DNA. Or let's say whether it's likely a coding DNA or likely a non-coding DNA.
I'm likely a coding DNA.
Okay, and then give the reason.
Ma'am, not much of a repeating sequences over here.
Okay, that's not the reason, Devpriya. So, repeating sequences can be present at times.
Ma'am, it starts with ATG and ends with TGA.
Yes, that's the answer. So, class, this you need to remember that in a coding DNA, ATG, so I keep telling you ATG is the initiation codon for prokaryotes, ATG or GTG. So I will keep, and this you need to remember till the majors, because when we will be discussing transcription and translation, I will be repeating the same. ATG is the initiation codon, GTG is also the initiation codon. Likewise, there are three stop codons. TGA is one of the stop codon, the other codon is TAA, right? So likewise, so whenever you see such ATG, then it is likely to be a coding DNA because it has an initiation codon. So when you are given this sequence, just this sequence, then you can imagine that it may be a coding DNA, but just to be absolutely sure that yes, it is going to code a DNA, what you can do is that you can count the triplets and then see whether the triplets are ending and it is ending with a stop codon, something like this. But if the sequence starts with ATG, ends with TGA or TAA, so in this case, it is a coding DNA. So now please try designing the primer.
Ma'am, what did you talk about a triplet?
Okay, so the genetic code is a triplet. I'll be discussing more about genetic code when I will teach you translation. So this is one codon, right? This is second codon. This is third codon. Something like this. Yes?
Yes, that happens.
Yes. So design the primers.
Ma'am, forward primer would be TACC.
हो गया सब गड़बड़ माइनर के बाद आई थिंक सब भूल गया स्टूडेंट्स.
Forward primer is the same, right?
Vignesh, hold on, let everybody try.
Ma'am, so it is the complementary for this sequence, right? That would be the forward primer.
Okay, so the other point, class, so few things you need to remember. Whenever I am giving you just one strand sequence, then always remember that this is from 5 prime to 3 prime.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now design forward primer.
Ma'am, it's the same, like AT, GG, AC, G, AA, TT.
Okay.
For
Yes.
around 10 base pairs.
Ma'am, wouldn't that be the reverse primer?
nahin.
Like
That-
wouldn't the reverse primer be AGT, GHC,
No.
from no? Okay.
So who's going to try explaining it, or do you want me to explain? Let's see whether my students have followed. Jeski, would you like to try?
Ma'am, the forward primer would be the same sequence, and for
Why?
reverse primer, we
Nahin,
would be,
why? Hold on. Why forward primer would be the same sequence?
ma'am, because forward uh, forward primer uh, make primer for the anti-sense strand, and which is from 3 prime to 5 prime. So it would be moving from 5 prime to 3 prime, which would eventually be the same.
Dev Priya?
Yes, ma'am. This is the sense strand. So the forward primer is for the anti-sense strand, and then it would be the complementary sequence. So this is the complementary sequence for the anti-sense strand from 5 prime to F.
Be the forward primer.
Ma'am, so ATGGA up to I think 15 nucleotides.
Count. Till where should I stop? So we cannot stop just like that. I taught you the rules, right? Don't forget. Where should I stop?
No, I guess around here is fine. Because this is 15 nucleotides.
So who's going to calculate the TM of this? You remember the method for calculating the TM? भूल गया क्या? So these things, class, you cannot afford to forget. This will be required for at least 3 courses, I can tell you. Bioinformatics, 733, and genomics and proteomics. Yes.
Ma'am, 46.
46. So is this a good one?
No, ma'am.
No.
So how many more bases should I go further?
Perhaps one or
Probably
2 or 3.
2 to 3.
2 to 3. Then can we stop here?
No, ma'am, this is a bit too much, I guess.
This is a bit?
Too much.
No, not
Like,
because
because
it's too much.
That we have to stop
that
here.
becomes more than 60 degrees.
Yes. So class 1,
Ma'am,
can we stop
that-
at T or A?
No.
Dev Priya, can I stop at T or A? Jaskin?
No, ma'am.
Why?
Ma'am, I guess you were supposed to stop at G or C.
Now calculate.
Ma'am, 12 plus 4, 16 more.
Hmm?
62.
This is 62.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it a good one?
52 to 58.
Right. And what about if we stop here? What is it coming?
That's 50.
50. Okay. So class, maybe when you have such situations that the primer is in this range, then it is, you cannot stop at T or A, because I taught you that the 3' end of the primer should end with a
C or G.
G or A?
G or
C
C.
or
G or C.
G or C, yes, very good. So the 3' end of the primer should end with the G or C, and why so?
Because I had a triple bond.
Yes, very good. Okay, so now let's design the reverse primer, and I'll come to this 62 in a second. Huh? Reverse primer, Dev Priya? Or Jaskin, would you like to explain and then let others design?
Yes, ma'am.
The reverse primer would be the complementary for this sequence, but from the 3' end.
Okay, so tell me the sequence.
Ma'am, so the sequence would be TCACT GC T GAA GC TT CGG T T T and then G, and then I guess we can calculate the TM for this one and check.
Wait.
This is 68.
Okay. And what about if we stop here, or maybe here? There are too many G's.
Ma'am, it will be 52 and it will be fine, perhaps.
No.
Ma'am, it won't be fine because it's more than a
Because
5-degree difference. Right?
yes, very good, Vishantan. So I have added one more G. Now is it better?
Yes, ma'am. 58. So that would be like within the range.
Okay. So class, did you notice this? That the difference also you need to take care. It has to be within the range of 5
Yes, ma'am.
degrees, right? And so in this case, the annealing temperature. So when we write, okay, so maybe I'll insert. You are going to write the PCR program as well. So now, class, so you have designed the forward and reverse primer. Now the question was, we would like to mutate this G to T, right? This is a specific point mutation that we would like to introduce in the gene, right? And the question is why we would like to introduce this gene, this mutation in the coding DNA in the gene. Because, for example, as we discussed, that some of these mutations are important. They can be at the active site, they can lead to enhanced thermostability, they can lead to enhanced binding specificity, enhanced substrate range, enhanced shelf life. So what is done is usually when people make such changes, then usually it results in a change in the codon. Right. So for example, we discussed missense mutation. You remember that, where for example phenylalanine can be converted into serine or glycine can be converted into proline. So usually when the objective is to identify the role of a particular amino acid, then what people do is usually they change it into glycine or alanine. For example, if it is a tryptophan, or if it is a phenylalanine, or if it is a tyrosine. So all of these are like aromatic amino acids. So in such cases, if you want to know the role of these are like they are going to result in a major change in structure because these are large and bulky. So when we make changes from, for example, tyrosine or phenylalanine or tryptophan or histidine to glycine, then it is going to largely affect the structure and you can study the consequences. So that is a separate science which is called as protein engineering, where you can engineer the protein, but then all those engineering are done at the nucleotide level, which is why we are discussing site-directed mutagenesis. So for this purpose class, we need to design another primer which is internal to it. So now I'll show you the figure and then you can design a primer. So please pay attention over here. So for site-directed mutagenesis, so this is a representative diagram where you can see the double-stranded DNA is actually the gene. The arrow which is shown on the left and on the right, the straightened arrow, these are actually depicting the forward and reverse primer, okay, which you have already designed. Now if you want to make a mutation, you design another forward and another reverse primer. So let's come back here. So for example, if I want to make this G to T, then what I will do is I will design another primer which is forward and another primer which is reverse. All you will do is that in the forward primer as well as in the reverse primer, you are going to substitute G with a T. Followed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let me see who is there in my class. So
Can you explain that again?
okay, so you design forward primer, you have designed reverse primer. If I want to change this G to T, I will design another forward and reverse primer. Let's say from here to here, something like this, right? You can select this region. Depending upon again stretches of A's or C's or G's. So you're going to design a primer, right? But in this primer, in this primer class, you are going to substitute G with a T because the objective is you want to mutate this G to T.
Yes.
So as a result of this, the primer that you will design, when it will bind, it will not bind properly. Can you see this? Because of this misincorporation, I mean because of this mismatch, because instead of a G you have a T, so this part will not pair.
Yes, that will not pair.
Vishantan?
Yes, ma'am, got it.
Okay, so would you like to design the primer for this? From which place should I select? Vishantan, are you there or left?
Oh,
Oh, I'm there.
Okay, so design the primer. Where should I stop?
Ma'am, probably the next G.
Here?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is now the forward primer, and what I will do is this G is replaced by T.
T. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so this is now the forward primer. Now we are going to design the reverse primer. So the reverse primer class has to be exactly from the same sequence. The point is that this region has to overlap. So you have designed from here, right?
Yes, ma'am. So it'll be like C, T, G.
Yes, ma'am. It will be just complementary to the above.
So speak up, Dev Priya.
yes, ma'am. Reverse primer in this case.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that would be C T G, 4 T's, and then
And
G, and then A.
Arey, hold on. That's where. What will be it? Check
G.
it carefully.
Can you please repeat?
4 times T के बाद
G
G.
and then A,
A. Okay, good.
and then T G C G,
And then
and then T G C G T G A C C.
so now who's going to calculate the TM? Maybe somebody else should try. Ritika Jain, are you there or no?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Try.
Ma'am, actually, I didn't watch the last class, so I am not able to follow today.
And the first one is 54.
First one is
54.
Ma'am, it will be 54.
54 or
Yes,
64.
ma'am. 54. 54.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am,
okay.
correct.
And the second one would also be 54 itself. Because it's just the complement.
Okay. Right. Right. So this way class you have designed 4 primer sets. right? Now let's number them as primer number 1.
Ma'am, but in this case, these primers will form primer dimer. Not it will it not so?
You need to hear me out first. Listen to me first. Then you will follow. Okay, Ratnesh?
Yes, ma'am.
Just 1 second, just wait. So class, we have designed in fact 4 primers. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
So now what you will do is class, so here you need to pay attention. So in this case, if we use primer number 1, right? Primer number 1 and use primer number 2, then you are going to get the full applicon. Yes? If we use primer number 3 and 4, we are not going to get any amplification, right? But what will happen if we use primer number 1 with primer number 4, primer number 3 with primer number 2? Does it make sense? So you're going to use primer number 1 with primer number 4. What will happen?
Ma'am, we will get one strand, one will be full strand and another will not be full strand. Like it will be just from there the primer.
Okay. What about others? Devpriya, Jaskin, Vishantan, Ashi, Dhwani?
Can you please repeat the question?
So I said you are going to use primer 1 and primer 4.
Ma'am, they don't have a 5-degree difference.
That's a separate thing. That you can fix it. So that you can fix it, right? You can play with the bases and then increase or decrease
Like
it.
it will amplify the region between the 5' A and the red mark G in the end.
Correct. So that means it's going to amplify only half of the gene. Everybody in the class? Jaskin, Devpriya, Ashi?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
primer 1 and primer 4 are going to give 1/2 of the gene. Yes? Let's see what will happen if I use primer 3 and primer 2.
I will give the second half of G.
Everybody, primer 3 and primer 2. Just keep
Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yeah, that
primer
would.
3 and primer 2.
But just asking, what is the, like, let's say I use primer 1 and primer 4, then can't it start? Acha nahi, okay, 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 I got it.
Right?
ma'am, but the
I'll
primers
come
will
to the
create
next
like
step in a second. Ha, Ratnesh?
ma'am, like if we use the forward primer, that will work for only antisense strand and a reverse primer only for a sense strand. So in that case, like won't it be like anti-sense strand will be amplified fully, and that and the other one will not be fully. Okay.
कुछ समझ नहीं आया. Anybody?
So if we are using 1 and 4, then we have the primer 1 for the antisense strand, so the entire antisense strand would be duplicated.
Entire antisense or just half?
Entire antisense, because we only need one primer for one strand, right?
Yes, ma'am. I'm saying the same
So I
thing.
think class, let's
Yeah, this is what I think Ratnesh is also, yeah.
So let's go back to the basics. You people forgot PCR completely. So let me show you the figure. Okay, here. So let's see one more time PCR and then we will come back to site-directed mutagenesis. Okay. So you need to pay attention and then try drawing in your copy. Okay. So see, you started with the double-stranded DNA from here. See from the top. Right? So next first step is denaturation. So you denature it, then the primers are annealed, and then you extend it, right? So see, the primer is going to extend in the 5' to 3', direction. So if you see this primer is extending the chain in this direction and the other primer is extending the chain in the opposite direction, right? In the next step class, when you denature, anneal and extend, then you see that again the chain will extend. But what is important to notice over here is that because of the binding of the primer, this part is not there, right? So in the next cycle, this part will be missing, and slowly as the cycles will increase, you will find that the DNA will get shortened and shortened depending upon the place where the primers were designed. Is this
Yes,
making
ma'am.
sense?
Got it. Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Yeah.
Is it clear now, everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now tell me, which half are we going to get, half or are we going to get full?
We are going to get half.
Okay, everybody? Jaskin?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then when we use primer 3 and primer 2, then what are we going to get? We are going to get the second half of the gene. True
Yes,
or
ma'am.
yes? So now class, after this amplification, when you use primer 1 and 4 and when you use primer 3 and 2, you are going to get two halves of the gene, okay? But what is important to see over here is that because this part is common, you remember that this was there in the forward primer, this was there in the reverse primer. So when we have the two halves, the two amplicons, they will have a certain region which will be common. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am. That
Yes,
will
ma'am.
be.
So if I draw it like this, so in this case, they both have some region, let's say, I can make it big. And let me change the color. Yes. So this will be common because this was there in both forward and reverse primer. Is this making sense?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, so this part needs more attention. So now what we will do is, after you have completed the amplification of the two halves, and now the class knows that why we will get only half, right? So after you have achieved, these are done in two separate tubes. Let's number them as tube 1, which has primer 1 and 4, and name them as tube number 1. And where you have primer 3 and 2, name it as tube number 2. Okay, you are going to run it on a gel, a Agarose gel, and analyze that yes, you got an amplification. Now what you will do is you will perform another PCR where you will use primer number 1 and 2. Primer 1 and primer 2. Okay, so and in this case the template from tube 1 plus tube 2. That means the two halves. Yes. Class.
Yes, ma'am.
So primer 1 and 2 is the one which is the forward and the reverse primer. You see that 1 and 2. So this is going to result in the amplification of the full gene.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So when we will use primer 1 and 2 and then in the template you are going to use the two halves of the gene, then you will have actually the mutated part incorporated and you will have the full length gene with a G mutated to C. But now the question is how actually it will happen.
G
When
mutated
we
to
have,
T, right?
huh?
G mutated to T.
G mutated to T, yes. So what did I write?
You typed C.
Oh, I'm sorry. So G mutated to T. Okay, but then can you visualize like how exactly it is happening? Or do you want me to draw it? Can you visualize that when we have the two halves, then how exactly the extension will happen, or you want me to show it to you?
Can you please show it?
Yes, ma'am. Please. So it like half strand is both the strands are not at one place.
Yes. So, okay, so what I will do is, so maybe I'll try with this pictorial first and then we will go to the sequence, okay? So, what will happen is, insert a new slide. Okay, and I need a line. So this time I will not use color, okay? You need to imagine that this is a colored one. This has half of it. Otherwise we will lose a lot of time. If we draw it like this, I think it will be clearer. Okay. So class, can you see this figure now? So let me try. So see that we have these two halves, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So now when we mix the two, right? When we mix the two and when we denature it and then when we anneal it, then you can get something like this because this red region is common. So imagine that the sense strand of this one can actually have this overlap possible with the anti-sense strand of the second half to get a structure something like this.
Yes, ma'am.
Everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Likewise, you can get something similar for the other halves as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Or you want me to draw it again? I mean, this will go just above, something like this.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So now when you have such a situation class, and in the PCR I told you you will have polymerase. Remember that? And you also have DNTPs which need to be incorporated. Yes?
Yes.
And you also have primers. So that this you need to pay attention over here. So what will happen is inside directed mutagenesis, that is why this overlap is extremely important. If we do not have this overlap, then the two strands will not anneal. So if you have a very short overlap, then the full length extension will become difficult. So therefore this overlap has to be in the range of 15 to 20 nucleotides. If it is about 15, it is very good, right? And then what will happen is this one will now serve like a primer for this strand, and the polymerase will keep incorporating DNTPs in this direction from 5' to 3'.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? And then ultimately you will have a full length DNA synthesized, and onto which the primers that we had selected, primer 1 and primer 2, will bind and then will continue, and then you will have a full length gene with a G mutated to T synthesized.
Ma'am, but I just had one doubt. Like,
Yes,
for example, in the assembly, if you like in the beginning, you would have added all the four primers together, right?
where
The,
where
ma'am,
should
in the beginning when performing PCR, so in the mixture, you would all add all four primers together with the DNA.
Ma'am, we
you are
cannot
saying?
like.
No, hold on. So you are saying that we will add all four primers together?
No, ma'am, that's what I'm asking. Would you add all four together, or would you add like first one and four, and
Oh,
then
so
let
that
me?
is why I told you, you missed that maybe. So this, let me write it also. So this I told you, this is tube 1. So this is done in a separate tube. This is now tube 2. And
Fine, ma'am.
this is now tube 3. right? Here I have written tube 1 plus tube 2 ka template.
Fine.
So site-directed mutagenesis, everybody followed. Don't forget, please. Till
Yes, ma'am.
your
It's
next course. Everybody followed. Jaskeen, Devpriya.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then let's discuss a little bit about the PCR program. So in this site-directed mutagenesis, we are going to use which type of enzyme? I asked you last time as well. Should we use Taq polymerase or should we use titanium Taq or platinum Taq or PFU?
Titanium
We can.
tag platinum.
Yes, we will use that.
So you're going to use a high fidelity, right? And why? Because you do not want mutation elsewhere. You want a mutation at a specific place. So in this case, class, we have mutated a G to T. But imagine if it would have been a deletion. If we want to delete G, then what would you do? Are
Ma'am, so develop primers for like primers 3 and 4 would be like one would be before G and one would be after G. A reverse primer for before G and a forward primer for after G.
But
And
means you will remove that from the primer sequence.
remove that from the primers and then develop private.
Exactly. Very good, very good. And for example, another situation where you want to insert a codon. For example, you want to make a, let's say you want to insert a CAT sequence, something like this. Insert, not replace. Then,
Insert where? Here after like.
yeah, where my cursor is after G.
Okay, so a similar thing that we have done here.
Right, similar. So you're going to incorporate it in the primer in both forward and reverse primer and take care of the complementarity and then use it like the way I have taught you.
Yeah, so I guess forward primer would be from like here CAT, CAA, 4A and then CAG and forward and one for the back using that CAT complementary sequence, right? Reverse primer.
I say it again. The forward primer will be so I said you need to include CAT here. So
Yes.
forward primer will be
From starting from CAT and forward and back and
starting
reverse.
from here.
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
Because we are trying to insert, so it has to like match up. Acha, nahi, that wouldn't be. So I don't know what to do in this case. Like how exactly?
Ma'am, that will be like 3-4 base pair will be like overhang.
Yes.
Will that work?
Right. It will be again like something the situation that I have told you. So you can have a primer where instead of one mismatch, you can have like 3 mismatches or 4 mismatches, something like this, or 4 insertions. Devpriya. Vishantanashi. Jaskeen.
Ma'am, it's clear.
Okay. So,
Ma'am, though I had one doubt. If you could go to the 8th slide.
8th slide. Yes.
Ma'am, here when the re-annealing is occurring, as in, won't the upper strand bind with its complementary strand? Because like there, in that case, there are more number of similar sequences.
Yes, so the possibilities are all. So you can have in the mixture, you will have in the annealing mixture, you will have some which will re-anneal with themselves, whereas some. So the point is, Arshi, that's a good point that you have raised. So the PCR is a technique which can pick up even one strand, right? So the idea is that when we have enough starting material, let's say your starting material is maybe 100 nanograms or something. So if you have 100 nanograms of it, you will have some population which will have such a situation, and then the PCR primers are there, so they will specifically pick up. So now the question is how to get rid of the other ones, right? The non-mutated
Yes,
ones.
ma'am.
Yes. So that was the point I wanted to tell you next. So I hope the question was clear to everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
You remember we had discussed one enzyme called DPN1?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. It is written in JAM and
Right? So
Yes.
DPN is the enzyme which is used a lot in site-directed mutagenesis, because usually when people do such kind of mutations class, so these mutations are done when the gene is present in the genomic DNA or when the gene is present in the plasmid DNA, right? And then you try to incorporate that change. So in such cases, the template DNA, the plasmid DNA or the genomic DNA is removed with the help of this enzyme called DPN1. You remember I told you that we will discuss this when we were discussing these type 2M enzymes. So this particular enzyme, this actually cleaves methylated DNA. So what will happen is the entire template DNA will be removed by the DPN1 enzyme, and therefore you will have only the mutated DNA available to you.
Why would the template DNA be methylated in the first place? Or like, do we methylate it just to remove it?
No, the template DNA is methylated at the first place because the template DNA is either a genomic DNA or a plasmid DNA. What is the source of the gene, right? That's the point. The source.
But it could be like human DNA as well. Like,
So it doesn't matter. Even human DNA is methylated.
okay, fine. And I'm like, so if we have to clone some DNA that probably isn't genomic or plasmid DNA, basically which isn't methylated using PCR.
Okay, and?
So ma'am, then do we methylate it
No, you do
first
not
or?
methylate it. No, you do not. So usually what is done is, so you are imagining that your starting material is a PCR product, for example, right? Because PCR products are synthesized in vitro, and therefore
Yes.
these are not methylated. So you are imagining PCR of PCR. Is that the question?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So if you are trying to do PCR of PCR, then you cannot eliminate the background. But in this case, the idea is that you should use very little template, as little as possible, so that the majority of the population is the one which is PCR amplified. I mean, you try to outnumber the mutated ones so that the template DNA would be very less.
Ma'am, but again, that will still be contaminated by the template DNA, right? Like, so if you want to perform some analysis on that, so you can't take the results to be short.
No, say it again, Vishantan.
Ma'am, so like if you take that PCR of PCR and if you take that product, then
Yes.
it would contain like some amounts of template DNA as well.
Some
So if you perform,
template DNA will come in this case, yes, because this is not methylated, so you cannot remove it.
yes, ma'am. So if you perform any sort of analysis on that, or if you conduct any sort of experiment on that, then how can you check the validity of that experiment?
Right. So in such cases, Vishantan, the only possibility is to directly perform the three methods that I have taught you. Either straight away clone the gene, which I will be discussing in the later classes, or go for sequencing. But again, it is better in this case because it's a mixture. So it's again better that you actually clone it and then get it sequenced and confirm, and then proceed with your experiments, or try doing RFLP, like by mutation a new site is generated and then a new site for restriction enzyme is generated, and then you can analyze that. So this can be another possibility, that you can check how many are mutated and what is the kind of background, right?
Fine, ma'am.
So in such cases, class, so the other point that I have to tell you, Vishantan, that it is not a good idea to do PCR of PCR. This is done only and only in rare cases, because If you use PCR as a template and then again do PCR, the chances of error increase, particularly if you are using a Taq polymerase. So usually, even if you are using a high fidelity PCR polymerase, doing PCR product of PCR is not a good idea. I mean, it is considered as the last choice when you do not have amplification, or when the amount of amplicon is too less. Then at times we do say that okay, you use the PCR product as template for the second round of PCR, but usually it is not something which is very desirable. So usually the source of the template can be your blood cells, or I mean if it is a crime case, or for example any tissue samples or plasmid DNA or genomic DNA. Usually these are the sources.
Ma'am, is there no way to use high